let's talk about Dave Smith, founder of Sequential Circuits, a man whose vision has changed music forever, and who died unfortunately a few weeks ago, way too early. And to commemorate him, I got this Prophet 5. It's a faithful recreation of what Dave has thought up in 1977. So the first version of this instrument came to the market in 1978. Think about it. And so Dave Smith, who was an electronics engineer by training, thought that, well, I could combine microprocessors and synthesizers into one instrument and actually make a programmable polyphonic instrument. And that was the Prophet 5. It was the first programmable polyphonic synthesizer. Now you might say, well, it's all fine and dandy. What kind of songs have been played with the Prophet? Well, a few of them. You might recognize this one. That's the famous opening sequence of Thriller by Michael Jackson. I Can Go For That from Hall & Oates was also a song where this particular synthesizer has been used. And one of my all-time favorites, I think there is no one on this planet who hasn't heard this song, and that's In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Now it also featured the super famous Roland CR78 drum machine, but it also featured the synthesizer right here, and it was patch program 12. And it sounds like this if it comes out of the synth. And you might say, well, that doesn't sound at all like In the Air Tonight, and that's true. Because what you have to do is you have to close what's called the filter cutoff. Once you do that, you suddenly get the In the Air Tonight sound. And there have been many other songs where this synth has been used. Like a Virgin from Madonna, Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, and Vangelis, who also recently died. My God, what a year is this. On the Blade Runner end titles theme. Now, if you want to have all the songs which have ever been recorded using this instrument, the good people from Tidal have actually compiled a playlist which is called Dave Smith and the Prophet. And I think this is just fantastic that a streaming company that Tidal is, sits down and really puts all those songs into a playlist. So if you haven't heard of Tidal, it's like Spotify, just much better, because they are streaming lossless. So you're getting the songs to your ears in the way they were meant to be, and not compressed. Excuse me. So check out the Tidal playlist. I put it in the comments below. And just want to speak about other things which Dave Smith has done. So before Dave Smith came along, synthesizers couldn't talk to each other. They were basically confined to themselves. And Dave Smith had that idea that if we would design something universal, which all the synthesizer manufacturers use, then we could have all those synthesizers speak to each other, and they could be controlled much easier. And he came up with something which we now call MIDI. It's using this famous, infamous DIN 5-pin connectors. God only knows why they came up with this plug for that. I guess they just want to make sure nobody plugs wrong things into wrong other things. So anyway, Dave Smith had this idea that they could create a universal interface. And at a NAMM show, they set together Dave Smith with all the representatives of all the other synthesizer manufacturers. So there was Roland, Korg, Yamaha, Oberheim, Krumar, and none of them really liked the idea. And so Dave was quite disappointed. And actually, there's a video where he talks about this. I'm going to link all the videos about Dave Smith underneath this video here, because I don't want to repeat what he can say much better. But so in essence, he walked off stage and was kind of disappointed. And then he got approached by the representative of Roland and Korg and Yamaha, so that the three major Japanese synthesizer companies. And they said, we would like to work with you on this. This sounds like a good idea. And so they worked on it, and the rest is history. All the other synthesizer manufacturers had to follow suit, because now you had this iconic three holes in the back of every synthesizer, where you had a MIDI in, a MIDI out, and a MIDI through. And that all has been designed electronically, as well as from the protocol which is spoken. This is a serial port, guys, and it still can do a real-time synchronization and sending notes across from one synth to another. It's just stunning. And so now today every synth has that, and it's thanks to Dave Smith. So the musical world just can't thank him enough for having this idea of, yes, instruments need to talk to each other, need to be able to control each other, and that's just mind-boggling, right? So there you have it. This was what Dave Smith, apart from many other things, did for the music industry and us recording artists. I'm going to link a video below this one where when I learned about Dave Smith having left us, having left the stage way too early. I sat down on this marvelous instrument and I composed a song, and then I said, well, why don't I use all the synthesizers which had been designed by Dave Smith and incorporate them into this song. And the song is called Thank You, Dave, and Farewell. I said I put a link down in this video. I hope you like it. By all means, check out Wikipedia on Dave Smith. Watch the videos I have linked below this one. It's just mind-blowing what this guy did. And at the same time, everyone who knew him, and I didn't know him, right? But I feel somehow connected to him because I am having all these marvelous, wonderful instruments which he had thought up in his mind and he created. So everyone who knew him says that he was such a humble and nice person, and just a good guy to be around. And I think that if you look at the instruments, they reflect this. Right? They don't want to be complicated. They want to be hands-on, and they want to be played. There is no hidden menus. But this one has a few, but really minor stuff, and this one has none. I mean, this is what you get. You get buttons. You get switches to switch. You have a display which shows you your program number, and that's it. So any dial you turn, there will be a change in sound, and that's just amazing, right? It's just fantastic. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Dave Smith, for having changed the musical world and having surely changed my life. Thank you.